Hey, good afternoon, and welcome back to the Exponential Files. We're the only show dedicated to sharing with you all the gifted people at eXp Realty. This is a weekly show. Jim Lowenstern is here with me, a host, and I am your co-host, Larry Loffer. Each week, we bring you an exceptional guest, not just a regular one. These are people you want to know, people you wish you were. And today is no exception. We have Theresa Hunt, and she is in Cary or Corey, North Carolina.
Theresa Lunt and in Cary, North Carolina.
Yeah, it's didn't I just say that, or did I get that wrong?
I think you
No,
said Hunt.
Anyway,
Okay.
I like to get my mistakes over right away.
Me too.
You have a really fascinating history. You've worked in finance. You've done a bunch of service-oriented things that weren't at the level you are now. All of a sudden, you became a real estate agent. You became what we know as an icon agent, which is a kick-ass. What made the break, and why was real estate so important, and why are you so good at it?
Well, thank you. I reinvented myself. So I did spend many years on Wall Street, and in 2007, I moved from New York City to Las Vegas, and in 2007, Cary, North Carolina, we relocated to. But I had been buying and selling our own properties while in Las Vegas, so I loved it. But we had children; they were young, and I was fortunate enough to be home with them. But when they were able to get off that school bus, I wanted to go to real estate school. I was ready, and a friend asked me if I wanted to join her, and I was like, this is perfect timing. So I got my license, and yeah, I just wanted to make it a business. I didn't want to sell 4 to 6 homes a year, which were average. I wanted to, I reinvented myself. The test was so hard. I hadn't studied in years, and I was just ready to go. And I had a very strategic business plan from day one.
well, let's talk about that. So you say an average broker is going to sell 4 to 6 houses a year. How many do you sell on average? How many do you want to sell? And what were the steps you took to get to where you are now?
Well, my first year in real estate, I started in mid 2016. And so I took that half a year to do my post licensing and focus on training so I can get my business up and running. And in 2017, it took off. So my first year, I sold about 14 houses and got an award of Rising Star. And then from there, I started, 14 turned into 18 to 20 to 25. So now I'm anywhere between 40 and 60 transactions a year. I'm still an independent agent. So I work the buy side and I'm a listing agent. But I have a group. I say my team sometimes, but I have a group of people that help me with a successful transaction to get to the closing table and anything in between.
That's
So,
absolutely wonderful. Let me ask you a reverse question.
sure.
Um, why do you think people aren't successful like you are? You came in with a game plan, but what was it that made you jump, and why? Let's help agents
Sure.
out there who aren't at this level, who want to be. That's why they're watching this show.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have to put the work in. There's just no magic formula. You just have to put the work in. And that's what the problem is, because it's so unmotivating at times. Rejection, not getting, the business, and you have to lead generate, and you have to figure out, you have to try everything, and whatever works for you, you have to keep going at it. And that's what happens. Agents give up. They don't want to keep doing it. And I started branding myself in a certain area. Yeah, I think where you live is probably the best place to start. And that's what I did. And I chose another neighborhood close by, and I just kept sending my postcards and whatever I needed to do, knock on doors. I mean, I did not like that. That's not my favorite thing to do. And I made myself known in the neighborhood. And then of course I got that first appointment, and that's just the first step. And then you have to convert that appointment. So you have to be educated and know your stuff. And I have a mastermind twice a month, and this is what I teach new agents. You have to put the work in. Nobody's going to hand you anything. And I think that's what happens. You lose motivation. It's not easy. And you fall off.
But you mentioned something else, Teresa, and this is, I think, the missing ingredient for a lot of agents, regardless of how long they've been in the business. It's the
Mhm.
investment in your
Yeah.
business. Do
Mhm.
you have the money to do the postcards and not just send them out once? These are, well, how often do you send postcards?
Well,
Once a
I'm
month, every
now,
2 months?
well, yes, because I'm 6.5 years in the business, 7 years this year. But I was on a budget when I started off. So this is what I tell other agents. We know that everyone's on a budget because it can be very expensive to start branding yourself and advertising. So just take a couple of streets in a neighborhood. You don't have to take the entire neighborhood. Take 2 streets. What is that? That could be, 20 houses. And then you could pull labels off the MLS and send them out yourself and do that, drop, Popeyes and things like that. You can make them yourself. You don't have to pay for others to do it. Now,
What's a Popeye? You're not talking about the
Just show
Louisiana
up.
kitchen.
No, just show up. Pop.
yeah, like put something on their doorknob, like
Right.
put a hanger with, some of your swag in it, or a little, like if it's Halloween, maybe a pumpkin, if it's, Valentine's Day, or, you just put things like that. And then market stats, you just put a little package together, and where you are farming, drop it off.
Right. Right. I just think that there are so many things. There are introvert agents, there are extrovert agents,
Hmm.
and you come in thinking you have to be this fast talking,
No.
always be closing, and that's not true, because clients are introverts and extroverts, and engineers and bottom line people. You have to begin to watch and understand what people are. And I think truly successful people do that first, and
Hmm.
they study it, and I'm sure that's what you're teaching them.
Yes, I do. And so, um, I mean, start off lead generating with people, family, friends, those are the ones that may be looking for a house, or they know someone who is. And then, make yourself known in your neighborhood or a neighborhood close by. And I don't come off salesy when I mean, we know
Right.
this is a sales job. I come from a contribution when I'm
Right.
speaking to,
Right.
potential clients. And then and as a consultant as well. So they want to know what I'm going to do for them and how I will sell their house if I'm on a listing appointment. And I have to know what to say, because they know what's going on in their neighborhood and what may be going on in the real estate market. So when I say educate yourself, know your numbers. When I walk into a house, I know when it was built, who the builder, all the details. As
Right.
I'm walking through with them. Oh, this was built in 2007. This is by Impact Design. You purchased it in,
Yeah. Yeah.
2010, and so on. Mhm.
Yeah. Be informed. Be
Be
informed.
informed. Yes.
I'm a bit of a curmudgeon, and I heard when I started, always start with your family and friends. And my
Mhm.
history has been the only people who have ever taken advantage of me are family and friends, because they feel as though, oh, I'm helping you, and you're going to get paid a commission. But I know that's probably my family and has nothing to do with real people.
Well, no, they also say don't deal with neighbors, because as a neighbor, people don't want necessarily their neighbors to know their business. They don't want their neighbors walking through their house.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So if you're going to do a farm, the smart thing to do is maybe have the farm about a block or two away.
Hmm.
That
That's
way,
true.
that way, when you're writing off your auto mileage, you pretty much can write off everything for the whole day because you're close to your farm, and maybe
Hmm.
you're doing those door knockers, and then you drive off and you're still working. Yeah.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
and I guess the other question, Teresa, is, well, what do you think of things like Zillow and, yeah, all the lead generating sites? Do you invest in that, or
No,
do you prefer the postcards?
I've never bought leads. My business is organic, and there may be a time that I will have to purchase leads, but I have not
Doesn't
had
sound that
to.
way. 60 sales a year, that's, you're selling, one a week, right?
Yeah, it's getting busy. I am thinking about starting a team. Yes. Right now, we're in a little bit of a lull, so I'm okay. I'm catching up. I'm here at the conference, but yeah, I think I am on target this year to do 60.
Well,
Now I
let's
could
let's talk
burn
about the
out.
current market. What are you seeing in your area?
So our area is always thriving. Cary, North Carolina, Raleigh, it's always in the top 5 places to live in the US. We have people relocating. We've got, the Apple campus, RTP campus coming soon. Major corporations, of course, we've got Duke and, great hospitals. So we've got doctors always relocating. I work with a lot of clients that are relocating, and I put myself in relocation magazines. So it is, but when I say a little bit of a lull, when we had a 2-year inflation period that we came off of last year, and in probably May or June of 2022, and it was very quiet right through the year. I think prices, it was normalizing our market. That's all it was doing, was normalizing. And it started picking up in January of this year. So I've had a very busy quarter and a half, 2 quarter. The second quarter, I'm probably at 30 transactions, and which could put me more, but I make very realistic goals for myself. So I'm not gonna, I'm just not gonna burn myself out. But anyway, right now, I would say with, excuse me, with May and going into June, it gets a little bit quiet. So what we do is, graduations, vacations, people kind of check out a little bit. So I believe the summer is a little bit quiet, but our area is a thriving area. It really is. I have been busy since I've gotten into real estate, and I do something else too that I love to talk about. If I may just mention this, do you know of the Nextdoor app?
Yes.
Okay, so I utilized that very early on. I would get, if I got a transaction in the area that is within the Nextdoor app that I'm on, I would get a review. I opened up a business page, no cost. A review I would put on there, and I started having clients put reviews on there, and I became the #1 agent on Nextdoor, and then the neighborhood favorite. So now I will admit I get 80% of my business through Nextdoor.
That's
Okay.
incredible. Not
That's
everybody
good.
does that.
That's
Yeah.
good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always getting. I guess it's alerts, maybe 2
Yeah.
or 3 times a day
Mhm.
from that.
Yeah. So,
It's usually coyote sightings and things like that.
oh yeah, you get all that too. But everyone does. I go on Nextdoor when I'm looking for a vendor. So people go on Nextdoor when they're looking for a real estate agent.
People are looking everywhere, and it could
Everywhere.
it could be next door, it could be Yelp, it could be
Yeah.
TikTok. Do you do
Zillow.
TikTok? I didn't look to see. I saw your Instagram page.
No, no, I don't, but I should. I really do focus on Instagram and Facebook.
You really don't have to do all of them. And a lot of people think they do. They think that's the social media strategy. No. Do what works for you. And I hadn't heard of Nextdoor in that way. I'm the one that started the Nextdoor for my
Oh,
area. So within a mile of that, I'm the administrator. So I see all of that stuff. And I haven't worked it the way that you're working it. So thank you for sharing that.
oh yes, absolutely. It's fantastic. Of course, you have to do everything, but
Yeah.
that's been working for me. So I stay on top of it.
Yeah.
Is that a pay to play? I mean, you said you're advertising. Is it
Well,
free, or is there a cost?
it's free, but then you can also advertise yourself. But when I started, the business page is free. It still is. and you create a business page, and then of course you get reviews on that, but you can also promote yourself. So to the zip code that you may want. And that's a small cost every month. So, 5 years later, 6 years later, yes, I do pay for that. It's a very small fee every month, but I promote myself on
Right.
there.
Are you able to advertise properties on it, or is it just your photo and
Yeah.
your contact info?
That's
No.
what it is. Well, on my business page, I could put houses on there,
Yeah.
but I
Okay.
cannot solicit business on Nextdoor.
Right.
Okay.
But if you have something that's really nice up there, people will comment on it.
I know. I just get nervous because I don't want to raise any red flags and, start advertising something and then one of the admins calls.
We know you don't want to get into the competition. Any ideas?
No.
Right.
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 So let's speaking of nice things, let's put up your listing or one of your listings anyway. Let's get a screen share. Is that the property?
That is, yes. 313 Bolton Grant Drive in Cary.
I love
That's a
these
beautiful house.
I love those twilight shots.
Yeah, they're really nice. Yeah.
Boy,
So
that's a really tall ladder to
Nice.
take
oh, it was
to
probably a
take the
drone.
picture. Yeah.
There's
Oh
a-
no,
probably-
I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
This
Of
is
course.
very grand in the neighborhood. Because it's got the balcony, the second floor balcony.
Why did we lose it? Evan? But there's more photos.
This is awesome. This is live, by the way. I hope you're enjoying yourself. One of the things about Yelp that I used, not everybody uses Yelp. It's an old kind of thing. But I went into a community that I was trying to build my clientele, and I put a question in there: what's the best bakery in this town? I got like 73 people came in and did it. So then I looked all the way through it, and they told me the bakery, and then they told me what they made well. I went to that place the next day and I showed them this, and I said, I want to get one of your apple pies. And could you talk to me on camera, using my phone? I just want you to talk about it. She was thrilled, absolutely thrilled, and then promoted myself. Look for ways to promote
Yeah.
yourself
Yes.
while you're promoting someone else.
That's right. Local businesses.
They really love
Mhm.
it. It's like your VIP list.
Absolutely. I do that. I haven't done it in the last year, but when I was trying to make a name for myself and get business and promote other businesses that just opened, I mean, we're all in this together. I did just that. I would go in and introduce myself and talk to them about their business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I just think that's so important. You started by saying you built your brand. Now everybody talks about brand. Tell me what your understanding is, and then define your brand.
Well, right now, my brand is Theresa Lunt Real Estate, the Theresa Lunt Real Estate Group. And when I say I brand myself, a lot of that is magazines, and I'm now branding myself in the luxury market. So I've broken into that.
Right.
And it is just my brand is the luxury brand right now.
Right.
And it's just all about servicing clients.
Okay,
And-
so we're back to trying this again.
Okay.
So we're going to go into the same house. We saw the outside. I had a question. Was it a total brick house, or was the front just
Three-sided
brick?
Mm-hmm. So it's 3 sides. This is the office. The photo right before that was when the entryway.
I love the arches.
Yes, very custom, built in 2007. Beautiful finishes, great site built hardwood floors, and you could see the detail.
Yeah.
Custom
What
built
kind of hardwood floors did you call them?
site built, so they were not manufactured. They
Oh,
were
right, yeah.
Mhm. Yep. And this house is 4,000, a little bit over 4,000 square feet. And and the lot is beautiful. It's on 1/3 of an acre, which in this neighborhood is one of the largest lots. And it
Wow.
backs up, it has a nice walkway behind it and a berm, and so it's very private. And this is the kitchen. It has 2 sinks, um, lots of cabinets. And this island actually it doesn't look as long as it really is, in person. So it's a great working kitchen if you like to cook.
I like to eat.
Yeah, so yeah,
It's pretty incredible.
yes, the primary bedroom has a lovely little sitting area, which is their workout room. Yep, the bonus room. There's the
Oh, there
balcony.
you are. Yeah.
So is this a full basement or a slab?
No, this is a crawl space.
Crawl space. Okay. Is there a high water table? Well, why not a full basement? Do you have full
It,
basements
n-
anywhere in your
well,
area?
so we don't have a lot of basement homes in North Carolina, not like the Northeast. So this is not on a slab. It's just built on a foundation.
Nice fireplace back there
So
Oh
that's
outside.
yeah,
just
the backyard
so
is
that's just a
lovely.
custom. There's no reason. Like if I came to that neighborhood, I wanted to build a house and put a basement in. There's no problem putting in a basement.
It just depends what type of lot it is. You can't just build a house with a basement. It has to have like like a hill or something like that.
Okay.
A
So it is.
a reason for the basement, the
A
excavation.
reason for the basement,
Yeah.
yeah. Yep, and so this
Re-
one we just, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say a reason. No, it's just interesting because in different locales, there's different reasons. I mean, in our area, if it doesn't have a basement, it's usually because it's a high water table.
Yeah.
But for zoning reasons, they say you need a reason to have a basement. It has nothing to do with the water table.
Yeah, it doesn't, in our area, it's the soil, it's clay-like, and so
Yeah.
it's not as popular, and we have so many people relocating from the Northeast, and that's all they want are basement homes because they're used to
No,
it.
I understand. Clay doesn't drain well. I've
That's
built
right.
myself
Hmm.
in clay and with disastrous effects. I
Yes.
learned a lot about how many sump pumps you need when you're dealing
Yeah.
with clay.
Yes, absolutely.
Plus a
So
few
we
carpets along the way.
did. Yes, so this we just closed on. This is another lovely house in West Cary, which is a newer part of Cary. And this was only on the market for a very short time, less than a week.
Price?
1,275.
Okay.
This too is over 4,000 square feet, newer, a little bit more modern. Some great features, another nice backyard too. And West Cary in Cary is, like, as I mentioned, is newer and it's easy. People like to move to West Cary because there are great schools there, easy access to the major highways to get to the airport, the Research Triangle. And so it's a very desirable area.
So this looks like it was staged. Did they move out?
It wasn't staged. They were just so meticulous. I didn't have to bring my stager in. It looked beautiful when I walked in. I said, oh, I don't need to bring my stager in.
That's good. So do you pay for the staging or just the
I do. I pay for staging to a certain extent.
right?
When we have to bring in, lots of furniture, it would
Right.
have to be contracted out, and the sellers would be responsible for that.
And you tell them at the time you take the contract about that?
Yes, during our meeting, I do
Sure.
go over all that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hmm.
People want to know what the process is. And if you keep them apprised of what the next step and the next step and the next step are, they appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. What I like to do is when I have an appointment, I like to send everything over about me ahead of time, and also a video and a pre-listing questionnaire, because when I get there, I want to be there. And I do tell the customer, when I come to meet you, I want it to be all about you when I
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's what they want. That's what we all want.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want
So
to spend time talking about myself.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's really professional to do that. Back to branding. I think your brand is you're honest, you're straightforward, you always communicate. Um, And I think people get that. I looked at your social media sites and it was all about your clients. There was very, very little. If it was personal, it was you were celebrating someone's birthday or somebody's championship or
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah,
And they say all of your social media should not be your houses and things like that, but I see you have a good following. So obviously there are many, many rules, and if you're really good at it, it doesn't matter what the rules were. Your
yeah.
rules are different, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. No, I know. I mean, we're in a service industry, and so it is all about my clients,
Right.
and it will continue to be as my business grows. And if I need help, I will have it so my clients can be first all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think that whole idea, one last thing about branding is some people don't know what their brand is. It's hard to say, I'm this, I'm that, and when you're dating, you're always trying to put your foot forward, your first, the best foot, but you don't always know what that is. And someone told me a long time ago how to find out what your brand is. Go to 10 different people who work with you, family, people you worked for, and some random people who know you, like your salon, your nail place, and ask them to give you 3 characteristics that when you think of me, you think these things. Gather them up. You'll have 30 of them. And if you boil it down, you'll find that 3 of them are the top 3. That's your brand.
Yeah, okay. Yes, good to know, because sometimes I think, what is my brand? When you asked me earlier, I mean,
Yeah.
I have a luxury. I mean, I sell all price points. But my new, I've broken into the luxury market, which I absolutely love, but I work with all levels, all different price points. And yes, I'm trying to find that too. What exactly is my brand? And
Right.
I think communication is one of the things that I see all the time. I look at my reviews and I try to, okay, what are they saying? And if it's consistent with each one, that could be one of
That
my
is your
brands.
brand.
Yeah,
That is how other
you're right.
people see you.
Hmm.
And that makes it easier then.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But Teresa, have you joined EXP Luxury? Or are you in that division yet?
Yes, yes, I am. Hmm.
Okay, do
Yes, you
you
have to
use
have,
the
excuse me.
marketing material? No, I was just wondering if you've used the marketing materials and put your
I
properties up on Lux VT.
Yes, they are up on Lux. And the one thing about the EXP luxury group is it is an entirely different platform. So clients love that. I mean, their home is exposed, it they on YouTube internationally, um, Barron's, Wall Street Journal. I mean, there are just so many different platforms that the home goes on, and I absolutely love it. You have to have a certain criteria to be part of the group, but I am just now figuring it all out because they just launched it this year or late last year, and so they're ironing the kinks out. But it's been great. I love it.
Yeah, Janie's our sponsor and our partner, and I actually did a mastermind with her this week. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's
yeah,
great.
it's a great, great,
Hmm.
great new division.
Yes, yes, I love being part of it.
So what would you say the top price range is in your area, and what prices were your top sales?
Um, the average price in our area has gone up significantly since we've had that 2-year inflation period, because I believe that Cary, in North Carolina, Raleigh, Durham, Cary, we were stagnant for a very long time, where the average price point was maybe 450, 500 at most, but now it's 600,000 in some areas. And price point for me, I mean, it can go up to, we have sports people, I mean, it can go up to $10 million. But I would say luxury in our area would be anywhere between 1 to 3 million is typical.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a $10 million house, what are you,
I
on
mean,
a
it's 10
lake with
million.
a view and something really unique?
Mhm. So a $10 million house in our area would probably be on a golf course, or it could be, if not on a golf course, in a desirable area, it could be on 10 acres and it could
Right.
be 9,000 square feet. And that would be a 10, secluded, gated, something like that.
10,000 square feet, that is a lot of dusting, but
Yeah,
probably you're not doing it, you know?
yeah. But that's what it would be.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah. I was interested in that house at 4,000 square foot house we first looked at
mhm.
only has a third of an acre. Here we would have more acreage. That would be too close together. But the neighborhood looked cohesive when we stepped back and looked at the neighborhood. So it's not like mine's bigger or mine's not bigger. We've all got beautiful homes. So let's enjoy our community.
Yes, it's known for the manicured lawns, the custom homes.
Yeah.
It's a lovely neighborhood in West Cary.
So is it a
West.
lot of custom builders, small developers, or are we
So we have
looking
mass
Horton
production
and,
builders. Yeah, we have a
no,
lot of custom builders.
okay, so it's not like Toll Brothers doing
Well,
200.
no, right now in Cary, you wouldn't be able to get anything for 200,000.
No, 200 houses, I mean,
Oh, well, we have many neighborhoods.
subdivisions.
Yes, we have master plan communities, and it could be Toll Brothers. We have Pulte, several mass production builders, but we also have the custom builders. Poitras, I mean, I can name quite a few. In this neighborhood that my listings are in, it is a custom neighborhood, different custom builders within.
That's
Has it-
awesome. Those are people you could promote as well on your site.
So what question haven't we asked, we should ask?
Let me see, what question? Well, I can't think right now what question you
You
haven't
like
asked.
country music, blues, rock and roll?
I like a little bit of country because I'm in the South. Um, I'm not sure. I just,
Well, where
I
did
met,
you start? Did you start before EXP? And why did you come to EXP? We
okay,
didn't ask that question.
okay, you didn't ask that. That's right. So I was at Keller Williams for 5 years, which is a fantastic firm. And it was a big decision for me to move over to transition to EXP, but I felt I was a little bit stuck there, and I was ready to kind of grow, and I needed to just have a different platform to grow, just bigger producers, perhaps like-minded people. And I just was at a point that I was looking for something else. And EXP, there was an agent at EXP who was reaching out to me quite a bit. And it took me a year to move over. I mean, I did like the model, but I was happy where I was because it was a great firm, but I knew I needed to get to the next level. And so that was the determining factor, the model, the streams of revenue. And yeah, and when I did, I moved over to EXP in October of 2021 and finished that year with about 12 million in volume. And then in 2022, I was over 20 million in volume. So I wouldn't attribute it all to EXP, but it certainly helped. Absolutely. All the masterminds and that you can plug into, big producers, I get nuggets from all of that.
So did you miss the physical office? Was that like a big part of your business prior?
Well, yes, I had an office at Keller Williams, and being cloud-based, it was something I had to think through because I wanted an office. So one of the things I did before I transitioned was I went out looking at office space because it was important for me to have an office, and I found office space, and then I just made the transition once I did.
Interesting.
A plan. Have a
Yes,
plan. Have a
another
plan.
plan.
And execute on your plan. That's
And,
what
and
makes
that's because you just want to work outside the house.
Yes, staying in the house all day could lead to a ponytail and sweatpants. And I just, I think going into the office, I don't have the distractions actually. So
Right.
working from home is great. And I do it a couple of days a week because if I'm going on appointments, it could be close by. But I do go into the office a lot and I feel that I get a lot of work done when I'm there. And I hold masterminds and trainings and things like that.
Okay. And you really feel that EXP is next level? I'm not saying in
One
comparison to KW, but in general, it's next level.
next level, yes, for sure. For
I,
sure. I
I,
mean, it is amazing.
For,
I
for,
think
for, for
especially the
what,
multiple streams of income is,
well, that
and
would be
Like that.
one reason, I guess, but what other reasons would you say?
Well, I mean, when I moved over, I knew there were different streams of revenue. So of course that was enticing, but I was really focusing on, okay, well, I may want a team, and I know there's a lot of teams at EXP, and I may want to, I want to grow. So I focused on that. Let me see the model. And I went to a few masterminds. I was so impressed. And then I did know, I learned, I liked the stock. I thought, hey, I'm getting older. If I go somewhere, I want something in return. And I loved the idea of EXP giving stock. We're shareholders, and I loved it.
right.
And so moving over there, what changed my business was being around bigger thinkers, like-minded people, big producers.
One way to succeed is circle yourself with good people,
Surround
always.
yourself. Yes, yes,
And and
absolutely.
and even more important than that is jettison the bad people, the negative people, the people who think the market is bad because they're not doing anything. That's you. That's them.
That's right. That's right. And if you're
Mhm.
doing, I like to always say, for example, if you're doing 1 to 25 transactions a year, you need to surround yourself with people that are doing 25 to
Yeah,
50 or 75
yeah,
transactions a year. So you can learn from them. And then how are they staying there and growing?
right,
Hmm.
right. That was one of my complaints with Keller. I loved Keller. I was there for a long time,
Hmm.
but their masterminds were based on you do from here to here, and that's a mastermind. I always wanted to be in the next mastermind up, like you
Yeah.
suggested. You can't do that there. You can do that at EXP.
Oh,
You
yes.
can reach out. Uh,
Unlimited.
we've got workplace. People are there to help you because we all have. I know uh, um, franchises say that, but the that are saying that, they're really helping the franchisee. They're really helping the franchise, and along the way, the agent is being helped.
And one thing too, I mean, I love several things about EXP, but I love the support and I love how other
Yeah,
agents share,
yeah,
and they don't hold back. They
right.
share what they're doing to be successful.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Nobody can copy anybody else. You can make a presentation to right next to each other, and people are going to pick one person or going to pick the other. It's based on them, and the more you show them that you care, the more they care about you.
Yes, absolutely. So I get nuggets from all these masterminds, and even being here at the shareholder summit, I thought if I can walk away with 2 or 3 nuggets, I won.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because that's the gold.
Yes, absolutely. And I do work with a lot of new agents. So that's why I do love talking about, what they need to do and how to grow their business. You just got to put the work in.
Theresa, if people want, after listening to this, I know people will want to talk to you. How would they get in touch with you? Where would they find you?
So they can reach out to me via email at Theresa. It's Theresa at Theresa Lunt Homes with an S.com. They can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Theresa Lunt, Cary Realtor.
Excellent.
And today you're in Orlando. I guess you're gonna have a good time at Universal. I don't know if it's tonight or tomorrow night.
It's tomorrow night. Yes, Islands of Adventure. We're really excited. EXP is closing it down for EXP agents and their families, which is wonderful. And then I'll be staying a couple extra days. Yeah, and tonight is the luxury dinner at EXP.
I was invited, and I'm sorry I'm going to miss it, but tell Janie I said hi.
I will, absolutely.
I was texting her this morning. She didn't respond. I guess she's busy.
She's busy.
Well, thank you so much, Theresa. This has been another wonderful half hour of the Exponential Files. Please join us next week when we'll have another fantastic guest. Maybe not as good as Theresa, but maybe better.
That's right,
But-
maybe better.
But
But thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you, Teresa.
real
Okay.
pleasure.
Great show.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.